Hello everybody, I'm back with another review. Today we're going to be talking about a Benchmade knife. Let me zoom out here. And today, specifically, we're talking about the 670 BK Apparition with the optimizer. Let's get rid of the box here. And I'm going to go and post the specs on the left-hand side of the screen. And feel free to pause the video during the size comparisons and if you want to read the specs. So here it is next to the full-size grip and the mini grip. And get rid of these. Got the two credit cards here. There we are. And also a US dollar. Alright, so last size comparison. Zoomed in a little bit here, and that would be with the palm of my hand. As you can tell, it is a decent sized knife, but with this knife, it's actually pretty heavy. So for something this size, it's it feels a lot heavier than it really should be. Handle ergonomics are actually excellent on this knife. I don't know if you guys can see the little dual kind of swells here. For at least for my hands, you see how I just line up perfectly. As soon as I wrap my hands in there, it's just perfect grip for me. And the jimping on here is excellent, actually, on the back of the blade. It actually shares the same feeling jimping as the Griptilians do, right on the back here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but very, very nice jimping, hard cut. So, but on that phenomenal feeling knife, actually, the only small is the material of this handle. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's kind of like a cheap feeling plastic, but other than that, I really love these grooves in the knife itself. And the reason why is that because these are perpendicular to the length of the knife, when you're making any kind of draw cuts, your finger doesn't feel like it's going to slide down the length of the knife. The one thing I really don't like is when knife companies make the pattern or the or anything that kind of like runs the length of the knife, because when you're during draw cuts, it just feels like your fingers are going to slide down the length of the knife. So I really like this, and they did a good job on it. It does come to a nice little point here. It has a lanyard hole on here. The cool thing is you can actually use it as a blunt weapon if you really want to, for any kind of striking. It does have a nice backspacer on here. Very nice characterization with the pattern on there. It's not open because of that, so it's going to be kind of hard to clean out. This knife is geared toward righties, actually. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's only one thumb stud. I think you can remove that screw to put the thumb stud on this side. But even so, the pocket clip is not reversible. You can't put it on any other part of the knife other than where it came from, or you can just remove it altogether. The really cool thing about this knife is the torsion bar. You can see a little bit of there. You can tell it locks up really nice and tight, although the liner lock is kind of thin. You see this little uncoated part here? That's where the torsion bar actually rests on top of. So if I turn it over here and I shut the knife for you, you see a torsion bar come rising all the way to the top. In fact, it kind of protrudes just a tiny bit on top of the scales here. You can feel it right here. But because of that, there's a little notch here, which I'll show you in a little bit, but it provides a lot of detent on this blade. So basically, there's no way you can shake this blade out, any amount of force. See, I can't get this thing to come out, and because of that, just because of the torsion bar, by the way, because this pivot screw from factory is adjusted rather loose to provide the torsion bar to make the torsion bar easier to push the blade out. But it's kind of a nuisance, because when you first get it, you're like, wow, the knife doesn't want to open because it has so much tension against it. But I'll show you that in just a second. What I really love about this knife is the overall looks of it. I mean, the profile looks beautiful, and with the bolsters and the handles, it gives it a nice classy kind of a look to it. The blade on this particular one is your typical non-reflective black coat. It does have the Benchmade logo on there, and with the model number. I don't know how close I can get this right underneath it. On the back side, you got your Osborne design logo and 154 cm stamping. Now, this knife is, like I said, is geared toward righties. But if you want to, if you don't want to change the thumb stud, you can easily push it out with your middle finger. Although it will hurt your middle finger, because this thing is very, very stiff. Is the pivot action. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom in here, and I'm gonna show you the back here. You see that little screw there. Now Benchmade actually is nice enough to include the tool to take this out. So yeah, all you gotta do is just all you gotta do is just put the tool in the back here, loosen up about halfway. Not very much, just enough to get the torsion bar to come out. There you go. That's all it's needed. And memorize this position because there's a little notch here where the screw actually fits in there. So all you gotta do is just pull this torsion bar out. And I'll show you this really quick here. So you see the notch there? This is why the blade has great detent, because of this notch right there. It holds the blade in completely. And it does curve just a tiny bit, as you can tell here. Here, I'll show you. There you are. And then this is the back part of the blade where the screw fits into. Now, without the torsion bar in here, this knife is actually really smooth. Probably because the pivot needs to be adjusted again. But watch this. No blade detent. I can just flick it out. See how much of a difference that torsion bar makes. So, but very nice. It actually feels very smooth. You can open this in a very controlled manner, or you can just flick it out if you really wanted to. So very cool, very nice. And as you can tell, like I mentioned, the blade lockup is absolutely perfect, dead on in the middle of the center here. So at any rate, let me go and zoom in, and we'll reinstall the torsion bar again. So again, now I should have mentioned that after you take the torsion bar out, you should just tighten the screw back in. All right, otherwise you'll lose it. But for this exercise, I just thought I'd just do this really quick. So you reorientate the bar so that the notch here faces downwards or upwards. In this case, let's have the knife upside down in my hand. And you always want to have the knife oriented this way in order to put the torsion bar back in. So all I got to do is put it back in and tighten the screw up. And you're back in service, or back in business here with the torsion, with the assisted. But now when you tighten the screw, make sure you just tighten it just till it stops. Don't keep on going, because that's all you need. All right. And once you got that tightened back in there, you got to fire it a few times, open it a few times to make sure it works. There it is. Look how quick that is. Very nice. So to sum up everything, I believe this is a very beautiful knife, and highly collectible in my opinion. I don't really see very many Benchmades that are made like this. I mean, this is absolutely beautiful. I love the steel bolsters. I love the handles, even though they're cheap feeling. It's just a very classy looking knife. There are a few letdowns. The one letdown is the fact that the torsion bar creates so much blade detent that hurts your thumb after a few openings. Then there's the fact that this is geared toward right-handed opening people. So even though you can change the thumb stud, you can't reverse the pocket clip. So you're still stuck with the right-hand carry or no carry at all. Basically, you take the pocket clip off. The weight of this knife may turn some people off because for something that's about the same size as a full-size grip, probably it feels like it weighs like double the weight of it. So it is a rather heavy knife for this size. But aside from those factors, it is still a very beautiful knife, and I feel like it's a very a nice, classy gentleman folder. So anyway, this has been my review and my opinions on the Benchmade Apparition. Stay tuned for the next vid. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Take care.